there's a big trend with change programs and coaching programs to go in at the level of behavior and to look directly at what action can we take that is different, what we do that is different, and that lends itself to sustainable change, is that we address change at the level that's driving, influencing, and determining the behavior and the action. We go upstream of the behavior and the action. I think many people miss the sheer significance of this and how transformative it can be for a person's life. And I want you to think now about what some might call a negative voice in your head. Some might call it a saboteur, an inner critic, a gremlin, the one that likes to tell you who you are, who you're not, what you're capable of, what you're not, what's scary, how everyone else is doing. That voice, you all know it. And I want you to think now about how you usually relate to that voice. Because I imagine that many of you listening will never have thought about that, about how you relate to that voice. So do it now. Just spend a moment, give yourself some time to just meditate on that voice, what it tends to tell you. And what do you notice about your usual pattern? How do you normally relate to it? And I'm guessing what you might find is that you tend to either listen to it and believe it enough for it to stop us doing what we want to do, or we try to argue with it in some way. We try to convince ourselves that we're not what it is saying, or we try to silence it, or we try to resist it in some way. And what I find is that when I do any of those things, it just keeps coming back and it just keeps getting louder. And we're not taught in our education systems how to relate differently to this voice, how to relate differently to ourselves. We're not taught how to do this in a way that can make a significant difference in our experience of ourselves, our relationship with ourselves, and how we experience our life. So when we release the grip of that voice, when we release the thoughts, the ideas, the labels that we've identified with, what we're also releasing is the limitations that they are keeping us operating within. And from there, we come back to this blank canvas. There's the absence of the attachment to what that voice is trying to have us believe. And in the absence of the attachment, no, I'm not saying the absence of the voice. I'm saying the absence of the attachment to what the voice is saying. We start to see a different perspective of who we are. We start to see a different perspective about what we even want. More suddenly starts to feel within our grasp, our reach. We start to have different understanding of what we're actually capable of, what's possible for us now. And suddenly we're opening up this invitation to a different way of being in our life, a bigger game, a more fully expressed version of ourselves. There's an aliveness that is free then to come out. So I'm going to leave this one here for you now because I just want you to consider for yourself what we're talking about here. And as a first step, just to get curious with yourself, how do you relate to that internal narrative? And what do you notice about how you choose to dialogue with it? Are you choosing to dialogue with it? Are you trying to get it to stop? How do you speak to it? Are you loving with it? Are you graceful with it? Have you created it as the enemy? And what do you notice? What is the result of your relating to it in that way? How do you notice it impacts your behavior? And how do you notice the voice responds? So I'm going to leave that one there with you. I'd love to hear what comes up in your exploration. And I'll see you next time.